When you go into the King's Chamber, it really is a phenomenal space. It's a Stargate, it's a musical instrument, it's an energy generator. Now, when you put certain frequencies and resonance harmonics into the King's Chamber, you activate it in a certain way. If you're in blame, if you're in judgment, if you're in fear, this ain't gonna work for you. It's a process, and it takes a real brave soul to do that. The Holy Grail is a frequency. I was shown the technologies within the octahedral structure many years ago. So I wanted to just drop in and discuss with you about Egypt. Going on a beautiful 16-day tour around Egypt. We've got private access to multiple sites. It's going to be amazing. I've also booked the Giza Pyramid for myself, all on my own, for once the tour is finished, to go in and go through another DNA activation process, which I did 2 years ago on the 11th of March, 2023 at 11 p.m. when I collapsed my physical body into light. And I want to go in again. I've been told there's some more information that I need to receive and another level of frequency to do with this DNA activation. When you go into the King's Chamber, it really is a phenomenal space. It's a Stargate, it's a musical instrument, it's an energy generator, it's so many things. And actually, you know, the Giza Pyramid itself isn't really a pyramid, it's an octahedron. We see the male part above ground and the female part is under the ground. If you really understand mathematics, if you really understand energy, then you know that the octahedron is the geometry that enables free energy. The octahedron is mission critical. I was shown the technologies within the octahedral structure many years ago, and I've trained other people to use this and worked with the frequencies that come out of the octahedron when you work with it in a very specific way. When you go into the King's Chamber, which is made from granite and laced with crystals that are like tiny little rhombohedrons, the same shaped crystals that you have inside of your pineal gland. And when you add piezoelectrical pressure to your pineal gland, waves of energy come out from it. They get to a certain point and then close back down again. And they compress the crystals and then expand and contract and expand and contract. When you do the same thing in the King's Chamber, you get the same kind of effect. Now, when you put certain frequencies and resonance harmonics into the King's Chamber, you activate it in a certain way. Now, the sarcophagus that is over on the right-hand side didn't used to be there. It used to be in the center. And when I went into the pyramid 2 years ago and collapsed my body into light, I laid in the sarcophagus in the center. Now, we live in a holographic universe. Even though the sarcophagus has been moved to the right-hand side, I can still lie in it holographically. I could lie in the sarcophagus from my bedroom or from my living room or from this chair. We're multidimensional beings and we live in a multidimensional holographic reality, so anything can be shifted. There's no time, distance, or measurement. However, inside this chamber, there are some very specific components that enable you to activate this in the most remarkable fashion. If you go up above the King's Chamber, there's other chambers. There's multiple beams, all made from this same material, polished on the sides and the underneath, but rough on top. And the roughness on top of all these beams is slightly different. You know when you get a bell, it's like a piece of metal they've carved the center out from. And they carve the metal out until they get the right shape of the bell so that when you hit it, it creates the right resonance. When you hit these beams up above the King's Chamber or add a certain frequency to them, they create a certain resonance. And the rough bit on top of all of these beams, more effort has been put into that than into the carving and the shining up and the flattening out of the sides and the bottom, because they've had to chisel it away until there's exactly the right roughness above to create the right resonance. That's craftsmanship at the highest level. If you go underneath the King's Chamber, it's not solid floor. It's like an egg carton. There's hollowed out bits. The Grand Gallery, all of the slabs in the Grand Gallery, they're angled very specifically, 45 degree, 90 degrees, so that as sound comes up the Grand Gallery, it rebounds, reflects, and boom, 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 enters the King's Chamber and creates a certain harmonic. When you go into the King's Chamber, you crouch down and you go in and you stand up. There's a little hollowed out piece, And if you play a very specific note in there, you're going to change the resonance frequency of the King's Chamber to a whole different chamber. And if you don't do that, you've got no chance of receiving the codes. You've got no chance of traveling through the Stargate. For many, many years, people have talked about the Holy Grail. People have talked about the Ark of the Covenant. The Holy Grail is a frequency. When you connect the God worlds to Mother Earth's God seed atom and Mother Earth's God seed atom to the God worlds, and you run it through your central column, you get the magnetic and the electrical and you merge it. That alchemization is the Holy Grail. It's the twin flame reunion or twin flame union inside of you. That electromagnetic current, the masculine and the feminine, the male and the female, bringing it into one harmonic code. The Holy Grail isn't something that we're going to be able to dig up under some bit of sand or pyramid or rock or get out of a cave. Look at entertainment. They entertain us. They keep us distracted. The word enter is to go into or come into. The word tain means to hold. Ment, it comes from mentis, which is mind. It's to go into the mind and hold its attention on something external, but not going deep into our heart so we can discover things like the Christed light that we call the Holy Grail, the bloodline of Christ, the bloodline of Christ. That crystalline energy is the Holy Grail, that electromagnetic code. Now you've got to activate that before you've got a chance of going through a Stargate. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. You've then got to switch on your mathematical architecture. And there's a number of different factors you've got to bring into play. You have to use an octahedron to activate the current that runs up through your body to activate the platonic solids. Once you nest them in a very specific order, you activate 33 nodal points within the platonic solids. They plug into your vertebrae. They plug into 33 nodal points around the planet. They run off-planet frequency back through the 33 nodal points and into your spinal column. Your spinal column's the magic wand. It's the key to healing. Most people don't know this. This is what makes star magic formidable. This is why people get up from wheelchairs. It's why people take their hearing aids out and their eyesight comes back and their brain tumors disappear. Thyroids regrow inside of them because we're activating the real mathematics. When you run that frequency up through the center of the central column of the body and you activate those platonic solids, the heart turns from a cubed heart to a dodecahedron, which is 12 sides. 12 beams of light come out into the multidimensional Merkaba field and switch it on. The multidimensional Merkaba field has 12 points. Once they spin, it creates the sphere, which is the number 13. The frequency runs back into your heart, back down into the earth, back up through the earth and into your heart. When that happens, the frequency runs up through the Grand Gallery and into the King's Chamber. Your central column becomes the Grand Gallery. Most people don't know this. I've never heard anyone talking about this, but I've been through this process. And when I went to do it, I knew the mathematics behind the process, but there was a part of me that thought, this is never going to happen, even though I wanted it with every fiber of me. And a part of me knew deep in my soul it's possible. But to collapse your physical body to light and go through the Ark of the Covenant, through a very specific bend in space-time, to have the choice when you enter the Andromedan gateway to either carry on up through the cradle of Lyra to the God worlds or go out to the Andromedan galaxy. Well, I chose to go up to the God worlds because I knew that I had to collect information from them. Maybe when I go in on the 1st of April, I'll go to the Andromedan galaxy, who knows? Once you start running this frequency back up through your body and you turn your central column into the Grand Gallery and you've got all these other components going, you connect with your inner tree of life, your inner Cathara grid. You connect to the 13 constellations on the walls of the King's Chamber, and then you run some very specific codes. When you run those codes, the whole chamber will change and the walls will disappear. So what happened to me? These waves of light came out from my body. They rippled through the walls. The walls connected and plugged into certain gateways around the planet, certain star constellations in our galaxy. And the walls turned. There was just orange light everywhere. And all these beings came in and my body started to rise. I thought at the time that my light was coming out of my body. And I even went on podcasts and told people that my light came out of my body, even though when I came back down, my physical body was turned almost 180 degrees the other way. I just couldn't figure it out for myself because there was my logical brain that thought there's no way you could have collapsed your body into light. But the more I went into it and I spoke to some mathematicians and physicians and different souls, and one of these souls is actually helping me decipher the divine code of the universe. And this beautiful soul has got all of the codes that we share with people in our level 1, level 2, level 3 trainings that we use to heal, that we use to move through stargates, that we use to activate our superhuman potential. And he has got all of these codes and linked them back to 2369, Nikola Tesla's technology, and the crystalline mathematics to prove that what star magic is doing is so pure and it comes from the original divine code. We're going to be sharing this stuff with humanity soon, and it's going to blow people's brains, and there's going to be a lot of mathematicians around the planet that are going to be pissed, because this stuff, we've analyzed this stuff in so many different ways, and we still are. We're running these numbers and codes and numerologies and technologies in every which way possible, so that when we bring it out to the public eye, it doesn't matter how you test this information, we got the proof. Anyway, coming back to the King's Chamber, coming back to Stargate travel, when you activate these codes and your physical body turns to light, you don't realize that you've turned to light. It's just like that. It's not painful. It feels like your light body is rising up. And that's what I thought. And when I came back down, I was facing almost 180 degrees the other way. And it took me almost a year, 8 months, to figure out that my physical body had turned to light. There's no other explanation. How would I have turned the other way? I would have felt my physical body turned. My physical body had to have gone off the ground to have turned around, or the pyramid turned around. And I don't think the pyramid turned around, because everybody would have known. Maybe the planet turned, but if the planet had turned 180 degrees really quickly, people would have got shaken off the planet. So the only other explanation is that I actually turned to light and my physical body went up. I'm going in again to go through the same process. I want to test it again. This time, when I get to Stargate 9, I want to have my coordinates set for the Andromedan galaxy. I'm still trying to figure out with the teams that I'm working with if this is possible. And I'm talking about my multidimensional teams, the councils that I work with in other dimensional spaces. So we'll see. If there's anyone else out there on planet Earth, or you know anyone else on this planet that has cracked the code and collapsed their body into light and gone through these gateways, I would love to meet them. I really want to meet them. So if you know anyone, please ask them to get in contact. Or if you're one of these human beings yourself, please get in contact. We have to be able to train other people to do this, and we are doing this with Star Magic. But going into one of these physical gateways, and it's not just Giza, there are multiple structures around the planet that have these stargates embedded within them. It's just that people don't realize. There are multiple pyramids which are really octahedrons all over planet Earth with these gateways. There are other geometrical structures too. Some of these gateways are down in the ground and some of them are just floating in the space, but they're protected by multiple layers of electromagnetic architecture. They're cloaked in very clever ways. Now, going through Egypt, going on a trip like Egypt with 85 incredible souls, it brings up so much stuff. It's not easy to hold space for 85 souls, going through all these ascension temples, doing activations in them, meditations, upgrades, downloads, people connecting with these sacred lands. They go through some shit. People have deep experiences. It triggers you. It's a deep integration on a daily basis, and post going on a journey like this, you got to go into silence for a little bit, and you've got to allow yourself to integrate whatever it is that you've been through, the uploads, the downloads, the frequencies, the codes. It's a process, and it takes a real brave soul to do that. We've been running our tours since 2017. This is 2025. 8 years we've been at this. 8 years. We've taken several hundred people through this experience. Maybe you want to join us next year in 2026. We're also launching our Peru tour soon, so another level, another activation, another set of beautiful frequencies to activate that musical instrument that we call the human body. Inside the King's Chamber, the walls are measured in cubits. The length, the height, the width. If you turn those cubits into meters and you break the numerology of those meters down, you get 11, 11, 13. If you break that down again, it turns to 35. If you break that down, it turns to 8. 8 is a Stargate. When you break down the numerology that goes into the octahedron, that activates the platonic solids in your body, it breaks down to a number 5. 5 is freedom. It's by no accident. It's setting you free. Everything's in the numbers, everything's in the codes. This whole universe is run off mathematical code. When you go up through the King's Chamber and up through the levels and up through Stargate 3 and then Stargate 4, what actually happens is Stargate 3 and Stargate 4, they superimpose themselves over the top of each other. Not many people know this. Stargate 3 and Stargate 4 become one. And that is the key. So once you go through Stargate 4, you go through these other Stargates. When you add the numerology in these Stargates up, it breaks down to another 8, another Stargate. It's by no accident. Everything's in the numbers. It's all about 13. It's all about 8. It's all about 12. 3, 6, and 9 are integral, but they vibrate on a completely different frequency band. They're in a different dimensional space from 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. You got to understand the mathematics. You got to understand nature. You've got to understand the divine code. You've got to understand the harmonics. Every single one of us on planet Earth are beautiful, intelligent, mesmerizing. As we go on this spiritual journey, it's not easy. The journey of the heart is the journey of the brain. When we dive into our heart, we come face to face with our shadows, and we've got to alchemize those shadows and bring the light and the darkness into equilibrium. We can't stand in the light and be powerful. We can't stand in the darkness and be powerful. We're only ever half full. We got to stand in both camps and alchemize them in the 0 point. We've got to become the Jedi Master. That's how we become super powerful and activate our superhuman potential. On this road, we face challenges and tests. People trigger us, people mirror back to us. But we got to be grateful for that. We can't blame people and judge people. And if you want to go into the Giza pyramid and think you're going to collapse your body into light and go through a gateway, when you're still blaming and judging, when you're not holding that 0 point frequency of love, it's not going to work for you. You've got to be at a certain level of consciousness, and you've got to be at a certain level where your DNA is activated to. If you think you're going to go in there at strands 3 and 4, it's not going to happen. Now, we're all touching upon certain mathematical codexes within the different strands. We're all vibrating in different dimensional fields. So we're activating different resonance harmonics within different frequency bands and different DNA codexes all the time. But you got to be able to hold it. If you're in blame, if you're in judgment, if you're in fear, this ain't going to work for you. But it can work, and you can step out of fear and into love and be in an empowered state of consciousness, whole, in creation mode, in sovereign and freedom mode, knowing who you are at the deepest level of your being, that you're a Stargate guardian, an alchemist, a Jedi, a quantum architect. You're free. Right now, you're free. It's a choice, but only you can make it. You got to take extreme ownership. Be in your sovereignty. Know you're a god, you're a goddess, you're a king, you're a queen, and love your sisters and brothers. Because when you're getting triggered and when things are being mirrored back to you, it's beautiful. You've got to honor that and respect that and be very, very grateful for that. For these beautiful mirrors and these beautiful triggers that show up in your life to show you the holes in your armor, the parts of you that you still need to work on, the parts of you that still need healing. You got to be grateful for that beautiful soul. You got to be grateful, and you've got to laugh and dance and have fun on your journey. You can't be too serious. You can't. Our ancient history is full of crap. They fed us a reality, and so many people buy into it. But the only place you're going to find the truth is in here. Don't believe a single word that I say. I'm just here to share. You can take with this information what you want. The only way you're going to know if it's true is if you try it. If you take on board this information, if you discover this divine code, if you go into the Giza pyramid and try it, or you go to the pyramids in China, Russia, Bosnia, if you go to some of the sacred temple sites in Tibet, Ireland, there are many places around the planet that you can go to where you can use these codes and you can go through these gateways. It happened to me in Peru as well. A very slightly different experience. I didn't take my physical body, but my consciousness went. It was incredible, an incredible experience. Very unexpected, but it wasn't full Stargate travel. I was just being shown the journey. It's easy to bring your consciousness out from your body and travel. It's easy to bring your soul out of your body and go and travel. When you bring your soul out of your body and you travel, there are certain limitations if you want to come back to your body. There are certain doorways and gateways that you can't go through. Otherwise, it's highly unlikely you're going to come back into your physical body. You might not want that. You might be happy to not come back. I don't know. But when you collapse your physical body into light, you take it with you. And when you take it with you, you can reinstate it somewhere else. You dematerialize and you rematerialize. I've dematerialized in physical form before. I've never gone through a gateway. I've just reappeared back in the same space. And all that really is your frequency just becoming such a high vibration. It's not happened a lot, and it's never happened intentionally. It's just happened when I've been in a very high frequency and other people have witnessed it. But it's never been with me intending that. You could call it a fluke or an accident. I don't know. But I'm just being honest and sharing with you. We all have these abilities. We just have to be brave enough to dive into our hearts and fine-tune this musical instrument to the right octaves, to the right harmonics, so it can heal and activate and switch on and become that instrument of divinity. I love you so much as my sister or brother. I really do. We really are a family. And this spiritual community is full of judgment. This spiritual community is full of division. So many false programs running through it. But that's okay. It's where it is right now. What you've got to do is use discernment. Dive into your heart, know the truth. Follow your heart, your life compass. Don't believe anyone else. Use discernment, even with me. And from there you can make your own decisions. But make them from here. not from here, because this is a dangerous space. We get very confused up here. But here, this is where the magic happens, beautiful soul. Wherever you are on planet Earth, go out into the world. Love your sisters and your brothers. Love them fiercely and ferociously. Hug them tightly and never, ever, ever be the first to let go. It's the golden rule of hugging. You know that. Trust the process. Remember, you can join our ambassador program now, where you can introduce people to infinity. Your friends, your family, your sisters, your brothers, people on your social media. Infinity is a banquet of ascension tools. Meditations, light language transmissions, cosmic yoga, exercise, nutrition, mystery school teachings, DNA activations, cosmic journeys. We meet every Monday and Wednesday for live transmissions on Zoom. We've got a beautiful community. We've got a school group where you can connect with the team and I every single day. Ask questions, get guidance. You can book a Star Buddy call. A Star Buddy will show you around infinity. They will ask what you want to get out from it. It's a free consultation. They will give you a personal, tailor-made plan to suit your personal needs and requirements so you can navigate this ascension process in the most harmonic way. Go and join infinity and start introducing your friends and family through the ambassador program and get paid. Get paid very, very well. So you get to expand consciousness, raise the vibration, help humanity, and get paid. You can live a freedom lifestyle from it. Go and check it out at starmagichealing.org, and I'll see you on the inside. And remember, beautiful soul, don't take this human game too seriously. Be the joker, be the jester, be the fool. Remember, it's a cosmic joke. You got to make up your own rules, have a little bit of fun, and trust. Dance, laugh, smile. Be crazy, man. I love you. I'll see you real soon. One love, one heart, one human family. Peace out, beautiful soul.